Where are they taking you, John?
To jail.
The man who created McAfee antivirus software was found dead in a jail cell in Spain.
Mr. McAfee has been arrested.
I have a very long history in drugs. I've probably taken more drugs than the entire room here can carry collectively.
One of the most insane people I've ever come across was this man, John McAfee. You want to know what happens when you play the game of life as a billionaire tech genius and then get bored and decide to commit every illegal thing you can possibly imagine. This guy didn't just break the rules, he burned the entire goddamn rule book. From creating antivirus software to becoming a paranoid fugitive in the jungle, accused of murder, obsessed with surveillance, drugs, and maybe faking his own death. This is not fiction. This is the story of a madman. If Tony Stark had a breakdown mixed with paranoia of Snowden and the chaos of the Joker, you'd get John McAfee. Born in 1945 in the small town of Cinderford, England, his childhood was like a war zone. John's father was an abusive alcoholic who took his own life with a gun when he was just 15 years old, and that trauma never left him. From the beginning, McAfee was addicted to chaos. He used to drink as a teenager to silence the noise. But here's the twist, he was also a genius. In college, he used to get high on LSD, but still ace in quantum physics. By the 1980s, he was working for NASA, Lockheed Martin, and then he saw something terrifying that changed the game forever: computer viruses.
Now a CBS 4 News security alert, and the massive cyber attack that hit 150 countries around the world Friday continued to spread today, but not as quickly or as intensely as a lot of people were afraid it might. At 6.
What he did next turned him from a broken kid into a tech king. In 1987, John launched McAfee Antivirus, the first ever of its kind. And his timing was perfect because computers were booming and viruses were spreading like wildfire. Within few years, he was worth $100 million. But success and money didn't fix his mind. It supercharged his madness and did the opposite. He bought multiple homes filled with guns, surveillance gear, and women. John was always into psychedelics and coding and used to spend hours talking to himself. He started believing the government was watching him, and maybe they were. So what does a paranoid millionaire do next? He disappears into the jungle. McAfee sold his company in his 60s and disappeared into the jungles of Belize to build his own kingdom. What he did there was straight out of a Born villain origin story. A compound guarded by armed ex-gangsters, surrounded by young women whom he allegedly controlled with money and drugs, a personal chemistry lab where he claimed to be working on herbal antibiotics, and dozens of dogs protecting the perimeter. Even local whispered stories of wild orgies, mind control, and experiments on animals. Even Belizean politicians began asking, what the hell is this man actually doing here? And then the nightmare became real. A man ended up dead. McAfee's neighbor Gregory Fall was found shot dead. The two had been feuding over McAfee's dogs, so one night Belizean police came knocking, but John vanished overnight. He crossed into Guatemala illegally, faking a heart attack to avoid deportation, and gave interviews while on the run, wearing disguises and mocking police. It was like a real episode of Narcos. But McAfee wasn't just running from the law, he was building a legend.
Fuck. Send. Oh, hello there. My name is John McAfee. I'm the founder of the McAfee Antivirus Software Company. Although I've had nothing to do with this company for over 15 years, I still get volumes of mail asking, how do I uninstall this software? I have no idea. I really need to quit. As I said, I've had nothing to do with McAfee software for over 15 years. I've had more pressing things to do. But recent events have made me change my mind. I've had, over the years, many responses from users who are complaining about the difficulty in removing the software. I'd like to read you a few things. Holy fucking shit. I was drawing for like 5 hours straight on this marvelous drawing, and I had to do a big ass scan that slows the shit out of my computer. It was McAfee, of course. My computer's always really fast, but that son of a bitch has to come fuck it up. Here's another. My free trial for McAfee, or however it's spelled, expired. When it expired, it blocked Pornhub. Fuck McAfee. Fuck them in their stupid faces. I hope they all get dick and cunt rot and die a slow, agonizing death for limiting my porn use to X-Hamster. No one should have to use X-Hamster. I tried one final time and got the Urban Dictionary definition for McAfee. McAfee, a barely passable virus scanning program that updates at the worst possible times. Tends to render your computer completely useless whenever it starts an update, which it doesn't ask to start, and you cannot cancel or pause. McAfee updates at horrible times, almost like the creators want you to die. So I finally remembered how to uninstall McAfee antivirus software, and I've asked my friend Bartholomew to walk you through the steps. This is my lab tech, Bartholomew. He's going to take you through step by step the process of uninstalling the McAfee antivirus software. Say hello, Bartholomew. Yes, so if you need me, I'll be over here, and good luck.
The procedure for removing McAfee antivirus software from your computer is as follows. First, make sure you have a full backup.
Yes, Bartholomew. Back it up. Back it up. That's right.
Yeah,
Very
John.
important. Back it up.
Sir, should I be reading the instructions for the Mac or PC? They're really quite different. Depending on which edition and version of McAfee's anti-malware software is installed on your computer, you may have to click on Remove, Uninstall, or a similarly named option to begin the uninstall process. When finished, reboot the system. John, are you getting this?
Yes.
You may have to download the McAfee Consumer Product Removal Tool. John?
Huh? Yes.
Does that sound about right?
Well, not completely, you know. I mean, it's always there. It's watching. It's been watching me for years. Every time I turn on the fucking computer, it's there looking at me. You know, something went wrong. 15 years ago, I had some beautiful software and they took it over. I don't know what they did. It was like the time I hired that Bangkok prostitute to do my taxes while I fucked my accountant. It was terrible. The same fucking thing is going on now. But I know what to do. I know exactly what to do. Believe me, I've got a fucking solution right here.
While hiding, McAfee embraced the chaos, and the internet loved it. He became a mad king, teaching people how to install McAfee software while surrounded by guns and strippers, pumping shady crypto coins, accusing the CIA of hunting him, and even threatening to expose world leaders' darkest secrets. He called the government corrupt multiple times and said he had dirt on world leaders, and that's why he was hunted by the CIA. Millions believed him and millions followed him, but every king must face judgment, even the mad ones. In 2020, McAfee was arrested in Spain, wanted by the US for tax evasion and crypto fraud. He faced decades in prison. Then he tweeted this: "If I'm ever found dead in prison, I didn't kill myself." And following a month later, John was found dead in his cell.
John McAfee, found dead today in a prison cell in Spain. The founder of the antivirus software that bears his name had just been ordered extradited to the United States on tax evasion charges. He faced up to 30 years in prison if convicted. He was 75, and a wild ride of a life it was. McAfee's virus scan software came out back in 1987, and he ran the company for 7 years until he resigned in 94. McAfee missed out on the $7.7 billion that Intel spent to buy the company, but he did amass an estimated $100 million fortune before the financial crisis crushed it back in 2008. In 2013, he created a profanity-laced video explaining how users could uninstall his own software. The year before, McAfee faced criminal accusations while living in Belize. As the story went, his next-door neighbor poisoned his dogs, and McAfee had him killed. But he never faced criminal charges. He talked to CNBC's Jane Wells about that in 2015, and it was clear he had issues.
My wife is
is sort of put out because I'm up and down all night long looking out windows and things. I mean, people do think I'm paranoid, and perhaps that's a paranoid act. If you believe the stories and believe that the Belizean government might actually still be after me, that's a stressful situation.
Well, they never got him, but a federal court in Florida ordered him to pay more than $25 million in damages to the dead man's estate. The feds say McAfee failed to file tax returns for 5 years last decade. The Securities and Exchange Commission came for him too, accusing McAfee of making more than $23 million in undisclosed income from false and misleading cryptocurrency recommendations. The federal court in Manhattan charged him in an alleged pump and dump scheme. Along the way, of course, McAfee ran for president. He posted a video on New Year's Eve 2015.
Spy cameras are hidden in cactuses. The government surreptitiously parses our verbal communications, and the concept of privacy is fast approaching extinction. Hatred, anger, jealousy, fear, greed, distrust, and the whole host of afflictions that humans must bear lurk just beneath the surface of civility displayed by government.
The campaign didn't resonate. Last October, police in Spain arrested him on the warrant out of the United States. 1 week ago today, from his prison cell, McAfee tweeted, "The U.S. believes I have hidden crypto. I wish I did, but it has dissolved through the many hands of Team McAfee. Your belief is not required. And my remaining assets are all seized. My friends evaporated through fear of association. I have nothing, yet I regret nothing." Authorities in Spain say they suspect John McAfee killed himself. His death is under investigation.
Official cause was declared as suicide, but his wife Janice swear John was murdered. Some believe he had a kill switch drive that would leak government secrets. Others says he's still alive, hiding in South America. And guess what? Even photo surface of a man looks exactly like him in Argentina. Maybe the greatest virus McAfee ever created was himself. So the question is, was John McAfee a genius turned madman, a criminal mastermind, or simply a man who refused to be owned? It was clear that he was destroyed by childhood trauma, addiction, and an uncontrollable desire to never be controlled. He did live like a movie villain and died like a ghost. And maybe he never died at all.